guys, it's Kelly. I am back with my first process video for Cocoa Daisy, and I am using the November kit called Sprinkles. And I have a mix of the main kit and the paper add-on glazed, I believe it's called. So I had pulled out some papers that I knew that I wanted to use. I liked the color combination to go with this photo. And as I'm looking at them, I love that Dear Lizzie bird paper, but I just was thinking that it was a little bit too cutesy for what I wanted. And I am going to pull in this Maggie Holmes Gather piece, and I just really felt like that set the mood of the layout that I wanted to create. So if you know me and if you followed me for a while, you know how much that I adore Maggie Holmes and any pieces of her collection. So it is going to come to no surprise that I gravitated towards that. And because I love pattern paper so much, I really wanted to showcase this piece of paper. I don't mind layering pieces of paper underneath my photo, but when I have something as beautiful as this, I want to see the pattern. So I cut it, I believe it's a 4 by 12, it may be 4.5 by 12, and just went ahead and used my Heidi Swapp Distress tool and roughed up the edges, and then I'm further curling them up as well. I had already planned to sew on these layers and just knew that distressing them would just add some further interest, and I just was happy that for once I actually knew what I was going to do before I did it, because usually I'm trying to pull up the edges and distress them after I've already sewed them down onto the page. So this blue and white gingham pattern from the Gather collection is also one of my favorites, and I am going to use it for the pink side. It's a pale salmon pink with a dot. And then this is also another piece from her Gather collection that I'm going to use, this brighter coral. And again, I'm going to distress it, and I've decided on having those strips to the left of my photo so that the layout is going to be more of a left sided diagonal layout, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I really like the way that this is coming together, even though there's not much to it at all. Just the colors are some of my favorite colors, and they're ones that just make me happy and speak to me. I briefly thought about bagging the photo with this black and white polka dot, but I thought that it was going to be too heavy, and it was going to bring the heaviness to the layout, in which I was really liking the light and airy feel. So right now I am cutting some, well, for the kit they're going to be stickers, but they weren't quite ready when our kits were mailed out. So I'm using them as cut-aparts, but if you do get the kit, they will be stickers. And I'm just going through and, I cut out a couple of things that I thought I might use. This branding strip is also one of the things that I thought I might use, but I decided in the end not to. I was thinking that I might just cut up the words and use them as some of the journaling below the picture. So I decide that I want to pull out this chipboard word and use it as my title, and instead of using it as the word loved, I am going to cut off the D in just a little bit. And I wanted to mat my photo, so I'm bringing in that pretty coral paper behind it. And I do really like the way that this looks as opposed to that black color that I was thinking about. Now, I love this piece of paper, that coral, so I'm going to cut out the middle of that because I want to make sure that for this kit and just in general, that if, when I have a paper that I love and that I know I want to use, I'm going to try to save every last little bit of it. I know that sounds kind of, I don't know, not stingy, but it's just, I want to hoard every last piece to make sure that I can use it to its fullest capacity. So I did go ahead and use some craft foam to pop up my photo, and I just like the subtle dimension that it gives. Now, I was thinking that I was going to use this number 2, and it just works well because there's two of us in the photo, but I end up not using it. I keep my embellishments pretty simple, and here is where I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put the title, and this is where I'm just cutting off the D because you know, the love is more of a verb. It's not like loved as in past tense. So again, I thought that the black was too dark, too heavy, so this is where I decided that I was going to try to emboss it. And let me tell you, there was a little bit of nerves going in with this. I have embossed lots of things, but when you have something that you have your heart set on, it was just a little nerve-wracking. And I have to say that the way this came out was just thrilling. I fell in love with it, and the embossing powder is melting and the pretty gold is coming through, I mean, it was like the angels were singing the chorus in the background, and it's just, it was one of those things that when it goes right, it just really makes your day, and this made my day. Love, love, love the way this title came out. And I've been asked before which color embossing powder this is, and I should remember this by now. It is Ranger, and I think it's like the matte gold, but it is, well, is it matte? It's shiny. I will look it up and I'll put it in the details, but it is my favorite gold powder, and it is by Ranger. So I'm going to go ahead and get these layers stuck down so that I can take it over and sew on the edges. I'm just trying to use the least amount of adhesive that I can on those sides because I know that I am going to stitch along those layers. So I'm trying to strategically place the adhesive where I didn't think that the needle would puncture through, because I have stitched through the adhesive and it really does gum up the needle, and it's not the greatest for the machine. So I am going to go ahead and put that Grateful sticker slash die cut for me down, and I just showed you that I really loved the way that love came out. And sometimes I will fussy cut some things while I'm watching TV, and so I fussy cut that bird while I was watching TV just to see how it would turn out and if I would like it. And I decided that I definitely loved it and I wanted to use it behind the title. And these sequins are from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and they are included in the main kit, I believe. And they are just the most beautiful shades. There's a clear color, there's like a frosted white. Here I am just showing you the gold thread that I used to sew down the edges. But back to the sequins, they are just, it's a beautiful mix of colors that I just was thrilled to see, and love the way that they work on the cluster. So what I'm trying to figure out is exactly where I want that bird placement, because I know that I'm going to cut off some of the leaves, but I like to make sure that when I do that, it makes sense where I'm cutting it off. I wanted it to be where most of the leaf was showing and not where just a good chunk of it was cut off, just because I thought it would look funny. So here's where I'm just trying to place a few of the sequins around and see, what I liked, what colors I wanted to use. And it really was a win-win, whichever colors I used. They all looked good, but I ended up going with more of the clear colors just because I wanted to keep it pretty light. And I just wanted the main bits of color to be the paper choices that I used on the left, and the photo mat. So I am using Ranger Multi Matte Medium to glue down the sequins, and this works well. I just really wish that I had the small bottle to work for the delivery system. I don't like the brush, but I love the glue, so I will make it work. So off camera, I am going to add some stitching underneath. I just was kind of showing the placement where I was thinking I was going to stitch. I'm going to do some messy stitching underneath the word love. And I also decide to stitch the branch. And that is something that it shows maybe a little bit in the still pictures. It doesn't show nearly as much on the photos as it does in person, and it just really added something. So that's where I was showing where I was thinking, oh, that's what I'm gonna do. So I try to show you, at the most, it just adds a little bit of texture. But sometimes those small things are the things that really make your layout what comes together for you and makes it perfect for you. So that's pretty much it. I do have some close-ups at the end. I do wad up some gold thread and put it in that upper left-hand cluster, and love the way that looked. It kind of reminded me of a nest, and that works well with the theme of this paper as well. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.